Hello class and welcome to this Super Mario Bros NES walkthrough on Video Games 101 by way of Let's Play with Briggins. I'm your instructor, Professor Briggins, and if it sounds like there's a bit more excitement in my voice than normal, it's for a good reason. Class, give a warm Video Games 101 welcome to our special, distinguished guest TA for the day, Mario. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did! It's a bit redundant, I know, but after nearly 1 billion copies sold, I don't hear anyone complaining. And that's billion with a B!
Wow, that's incredible. Well, let me just say thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to come do this for us today. You know, it's not every day we get a living legend to join us in a walkthrough, believe me, so thank you again.
Hey, it'd be fun taking this walk down memory lane for my first adventure. Honestly, the 80s are kind of a blur to me with all the mushrooms I did.
Yeah, well, let's run the intro and get into the game.
Very good.
Hey Mario, would you mind reading this?
It's no problem. Ahem. Please remember to receive full credit for this class. Please like and comment on this video, and you must subscribe if you haven't already. How was that?
That was great. And while you're here, could you record like a promotional line for the channel? Just like, hey, this is Mario, and Let's Play with Briggins is the best Let's Play channel out there.
Oh, but I don't know if that's true. Mario would look pretty silly if you said your channel was the best and I later find out it isn't.
Well, yeah, but...
I mean, have you got an award or something from a accredited organization? And how many subscribers do you have?
You know what? Never mind. Don't worry about that. Let's just get into the Super Mario Bros NES walkthrough.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the controls before we start our game. Very straightforward. Left is left, right is right, down ducks when you're big. Start pauses the game. You can hold B to gain speed or shoot out fireballs when you have the fire flower. And of course, A jumps, very important in a Mario game. And also you can hold A and press start if you lose all your lives to restart on the world that you died on. Pretty basic, doesn't get much easier than that, right Mario?
Those were simpler times indeed, Professor, back when things made sense.
Well, they were certainly simpler. And speaking of simple, as we begin the game here and take on this first stage, I don't think anyone's going to have any difficulty with this first stage. So, incidentally, we're going to bring in our resident fact finder, Fluff, now to tell us something about this first stage. Fluff, what do you got?
Thank you, Professor. Yes, they didn't have the capacity to make a designated tutorial in games at the time, so famed game designer Shigeru Miyamoto intentionally designed this first level to effectively act as the tutorial for the game, so players could learn the game's mechanics with virtually no obstacles or enemies to contend with.
Very cool. Thank you, Fluff. Fluff, do you have anything you wanted to say to Mr. Mario? You know, gaming icon right here.
Yes, Mario. I was just wondering, why are there no cats in your games?
Fluff, no, we talked about this. This is not the forum for that.
It's okay. I guess your cat friend is conveniently forgetting about Cat Mario.
Oh, you're referring to the cat that you skinned alive and climbed into. Besides, that was Super Mario 3D World in 2013. That only took you, what, 30 years?
Hey, we got Goombas, man. Close enough, right?
What the heck is a Goomba, anyway? And how dare you compare the beauty and grace of a cat with a...
Fluff, that'll be all. Let's not sandbag our guest. Mario, I am so sorry.
It's okay, Professor. I'm used to it. I'm a Mario. He was funny.
Yeah, well, note the hidden one-up which we showed right there. The first stage of every world has one of those, but there's a requisite to getting those, which we'll talk about later. They give you that first one for free if you can find it. Also note, we're not going to be taking any pipes, which you can drop down into to find coins on the various stages. We'll be showing you where they are by jumping on top of them, but we want to stay above ground to show you the entirety of every level, so just wanted to mention that. You can find a hidden star right there. Bring in Blaze to talk about the items in a moment. You can go into the status bar up here by cutting through if you are Big Mario, or you can ride an elevator over to the right. Hidden fire flower or power up right there. It's a 1-up hidden right up here. Just be careful, be patient when you go to the right to collect it. You can jump down in that pipe right there, drop down. But yeah, it's fun going above the screen here in these stages. You can warp ahead late in this stage by riding this elevator up and going to the right and dropping into one of the warp pipes.
So, why aren't you doing it?
Well, we pointed it out, but we're going to go ahead to the next level in order.
We not warping?
No, Mario, our class wants to see the whole game. This is a Super Mario Bros NES walkthrough. We walk you through the whole game in Video Games 101.
Professor, can I talk to you over here?
Sure.
Did you talk to my assistant Shannon?
Yeah, but...
So she told you I have dinner with Peach and a baby Mario tonight. I cannot stay late.
Yeah, we talked... Wait, how would that even work? Anyway, yeah, we talked to Sharon. She told us we had an hour with you, though. I mean, you of all people should know this game's only a half an hour long, Mario.
Well...
Trust me, I'm pretty good at this game anyway. It'll fly by. Besides, it won't be a good look if you leave now.
All right, a half an hour. Just no more of that cat, okay?
Well, people like to learn fun facts about the games while we play, and that's kind of his thing.
Hey, you're looking at the game, am I right, Professor? I'll tell you what you need to know.
All right, so are we good?
Okay, yeah, we are burning daylight, so let's get back to it. You are gonna edit that last part out, right?
Yeah, I'll have Fluff edit this one. I'll tell him.
Okay, so we are gonna head to the next level now. Sorry, Professor, I know you wanted to warp, but we are going to 1-3.
Yeah. Sorry, class, I don't know what came over me.
Hey, I guess I just care more than you do. It's alright, it's alright.
Yeah. You know, Mario, actually, I'm thinking, before we move on, the class would probably love to know how they can get to level -1 from that last warp area that we were just at. Can you tell us anything about that?
Level -1? What the heck are you... it's your class, Professor. Why don't you tell us about it?
Sure, Mario. So I just got a text from one of my TAs, doesn't matter which. But if you knock out these 2 bricks at the end of World 1-2, and you jump in just the right spot while you're crouched, it's kind of tricky to pull off, but if you can do it, you'll slide through the wall. And then if you go in this first warp pipe, it's going to take you to World -1, which is a water level, and it just kind of goes on and on forever, basically. There is an end with another pipe at the end, but it's just going to kind of pop you back out at the start of this level again. So your own personal hell, basically. But in case you were wondering, that is how you get to World -1 in Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, that's how you do it. -1. Although I'd say if you are doing that, you have way too much time on your hands, but nevertheless, 1-3.
Yes, 1-3, lots of pits here on this stage. Make sure you're holding down that B button to run. Give yourself a little more lift in your jumps. There is one power-up to be had here on this stage, right here in this block. I mentioned that hidden 1-up we found on stage 1-1. If you collect every coin in the 3rd stage of every world, then the hidden 1-up will be available on the 1st stage of the next world. So had we gotten every single coin, we could jump in the right spot in 2-1 and get a 1-up. We'll show you where that is, even though we didn't get all the coins, but just want to mention that. And can't help but notice we didn't get any fireworks there at the end of 1-3, although we got them earlier. Mario, what's the distinction there? How can we get them sometimes and not other times?
What do I know about fireworks, Professor? I'm already in the castle at that point. They are probably just excited to see a Mario.
Bowser is excited to see you?
Like I said, I'm just at the start. You have to ask one of the below-the-line people.
All right, fair enough. There's 6 hidden blocks here for 6 coins. First boss, let's go to our resident boss expert, Gary.
It's Scary Gary's Boss Beaters.
Alright, thank you very much, Professor. So the strategy with Bowser in Super Mario Bros. 1 is pretty much always the same. We need to get behind him to hit that switch and drop him into the lava. Or you can use fireballs to take him down, but you can go above or underneath to get past him, or if you have a mushroom, just run right through him and sacrifice it, and you've beaten Bowser.
Alright, thank you very much, Gary.
Oh, Professor, can I ask Mario a question real quick?
Sure, yeah, that's fine.
Hi Mario, this is a huge honor for me. I just gotta ask because bosses are my life, but what was it like working with Bowser, arguably the most famous boss of all time.
He complained about falling into the lava over and over, which I can actually sympathize with, because in those days, we didn't have the budget for a stunt doubles. Well, not two anyway. So he really did fall into the lava 8 times per game.
Well, sometimes he just burned to death by fireballs that you'd shoot at him.
You say that like it's better. You want a Mario to shoot a dozen fireballs at you?
No, I'm alright.
So how did it all resolve?
Well, after the game went on to become one of the best selling of all time, Bowser wanted a percentage when they were making Mario 2.
Sure.
So yeah, that's why you don't see a Bowser in Mario 2.
Ouch.
No, it's alright. They worked out his contract and brought him back for SMB3, and even got to put his kids in the game.
That's true. Alright. Well, thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Just Mario, one more time. What a huge honor. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
Probably tired of hearing that all the time, right?
What are you, crazy? Is it the best?
That's best with a B, right?
Maybe leave the jokes to Mario.
Watch out for those pits here in 2-2 and all the water stages. Little extra suction over top of those. They will pull you down. Those currents there underwater. Speaking of the underwater stages, Mario, something I've always been curious about is, how do you manage to hold your breath for so long?
It's standard plumber training.
Alright. Well, I don't want to embarrass you, Mario, but I can't help but notice you look quite a bit different now than you do versus yourself here in the mid-'80s.
What are you trying to body shame a Mario?
No. I just mean you have more depth, I guess.
You were referring to the fact that the Mario is now a 3D when he used to be a 2D.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say. So a lot of flying fish here in 2-3. Generally, the best tactic is just to run through at full speed and just thread the needle as they pop up, react accordingly. Once again, if you grab every single coin, then in 3-1, we'll jump where the invisible 1-up would appear, the block for it. Not really worth it to stop off, though, in my opinion. Just power through. And just launch. There we go. But you look good, Mario. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make things weird.
Well, if you check out the history books, you will find that most folks were two-dimensional in the 1980s. Actually, now that I think about it, don't look it up.
Fair enough, as we head on to 2-4 now. 2 paths to take, they both lead to the same area. I prefer the bottom, so you only have to worry about the top fire above you right there. Speaking of fire, let's use it on Bowser. How many shots do you think to take down Bowser with the Fire Flower, Mario?
I'm gonna say 5 fireballs.
Alright, 5 shots, bank it. Let's see how this goes. That's 4, there's 5. It's like you know what you're talking about, Mario.
It's muscle memory, what else can I say? Except all this to rescue another stupid mushroom person.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice either. As we move on to 3-1, this is a special level because of a bit of a hack at the end of the stage. These hidden 1-ups are all well and good. As you can see right there, we do a little jump right there just to signify which of these pipes you can drop into. I'll show you as well where the hidden 1-up would be had you gotten all the coins, but you're not going to need it if you use, it's right there, if you use the life hack at the end of this stage. You know which one I'm referring to there, Mario?
Please, how do you think I'm still alive today?
Well, there you go. There is a hidden beanstalk here. If you hit this top right block right there, it takes you up to coin heaven where you can ride a platform to get a bunch of free coins. Again, showing you where all the power-ups are. There's one right there, a coin block right here, but the infamous life hack. It's right here at the end of the level, and right here. Let's show how this works. So you can do this on either Koopa, but you're probably just going to do it on the second one so you don't have that distraction. You stop it on one of the steps, and then as close to the edge as possible, and then move into the step beneath it, go over as far right as you can, and just start jumping. You want to make sure you don't go to the right after you've jumped, otherwise you'll risk knocking away the Troopa shell, but if you do it just right, you hit that sweet spot, and the point total keeps multiplying exponentially until you're picking up 1-ups every single time. Just like that, and it just keeps going. Just be sure you don't go too far to the right, otherwise you risk knocking it away, so it'll bank off the right and just go off to the left into the pit there. So just keep this going for as long as you have time for, basically. We are still on the timer there. And if you want to die and earn some more lives, do it again the second time, you can go ahead and do that. Basically get infinite lives that way, and then you'll notice we have a little crown icon there to designate that we have more than 10 lives. But there you go, the Super Mario Bros. Life hack.
I live by it.
Good one, Mario.
No, I'm not joking. Like I said, I'm literally still alive because of that hack.
Fair enough. Alright, seriously, Mario, what is going on with those fireworks? You can't tell me?
Ugh. Fine, bring in the cat if you have to.
You sure?
Yes, it's fine.
Fluff? Just be respectful.
I'm always respectful, Professor. So, the fireworks are triggered only when you beat a level, meaning you grab onto the flagpole with a 1, a 3, or a 6 as the last digit on the clock. That number also determines the number of fireworks which appear, and each firework is worth an extra 500 points. So for all you points hounds out there, always beat the level with a 6 as the last digit on the clock, as this is worth an extra 3,000 points. Though this can be difficult if you're also trying to go for the top of the flagpole for a maximum 5,000 points for beating the level.
Thank you, Fluff, and I noticed we had an 8 on the clock there at the end of that stage. No fireworks, so that checks out. But you know, speaking of the top of the flagpole, Mario, we've almost cleared it a couple times. Have you ever gone straight over?
Yeah, once I did.
Wow, what's on the other side?
I don't know, I blacked out.
Whoa, what happened next?
I woke up in Tijuana.
Professor, you were wondering what would happen if you jumped over the flagpole completely? Well, not to discredit Mario's Tijuana story, but if you clear the flagpole, the level just goes on indefinitely until the timer runs out and you die.
Sounds like Tijuana to me.
Yeah, well, anyway, I figured I'd also mention this because there's a lot of platforms on this level. It's partly where the term platforming came from, but before being labeled as a platformer, Shigeru Miyamoto used the term athletic game to describe the gameplay used in games like the original Mario Bros. After making a handful of other games, Miyamoto wanted to create a more advanced athletic game, featuring a scrolling screen, colorful, i.e. not just black, backgrounds, and larger characters. When deciding on the theme for this ambitious project, Miyamoto's relatively new co-designer Takashi Tezuka suggested using the character of Mario based on the positive sales figures of the original Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, who else was he going to use? The guy from Ice Climbers? Give me a break.
Just glad to see it hasn't all gone to your head, Mario. Actually, it's good to see that you still have a head, considering all the bricks that you've thrown your head into over the years. Anyway, on to 4-1. Another mushroom person rescued after 3-4. Don't worry, Mario, we'll find your princess as we're coming up on the midway point of this game. Another one of those colorful screens, which Fluff was referring to, Miyamoto was going for. We got all the coins on 3-3, so you could see that hidden mushroom showing up there for the 1-up in that spot. Again, that would not appear had we not collected every single mushroom in stage... Oh, we kind of... Alright, that was not worth putting the no death run at risk there. You got Lakitu causing mischief right there up in the sky. A lot of times I just go for the 100 points when we drop down. When we miss the 5,000. It's 5,000 or bust for the most part here on Video Games 101. Another opportunity here on 4-2 to warp ahead. So the fastest, most efficient route for beating this game, if you want to kind of speed run it, you can take that warp, which we kind of alluded to, kind of showed there in stage 1-2 at the start. Warp to 4-1, and then right here in 4-2, as you can see, there's a coin block right there. You can take the warp in this stage, so hit these two invisible blocks and climb that beanstalk, and that will take you ultimately ahead to where there's more warp pipes. You can jump to 8-1 if you want. So realistically, you only have to play, what, maybe 6 levels total in this game? 6 or 7 stages, I suppose. You can go above the screen there as well once again. Note that we can't kill the buzzy beetles with our flames. They are protected there. Also want to point out, speaking of warping, we've been talking about the hidden 1-ups. You can find one of those in the first stage One, if you, like we mentioned, get all the coins off of the third stage in the previous world, or if you warped to whichever stage you're on. So if you warped, that 1-up will be there as well. So just want to point that out. So we're moving on to 4-3 now. A lot of mushrooms in 4-3, the kind you stand on, not the power-ups. Make sure you're always running. And we're going to bring in Blaze now to talk about the items of this game. I want to mention, before we get to 4-4, there is a very specific track you got to take, so follow along when we get there. But Blaze, the items of Mario.
Let's talk about the basic items in Super Mario Bros. Kind of a dream of mine to be talking about some of the greatest items in video game history, but we start off with the mushroom. You know what it does. It makes Mario bigger. Lets him take an extra shot basically before he dies. And it lets him destroy bricks with his head when he's all grown up. Then we have the fire flower, which allows you to shoot out fireballs from your hands or wherever they're coming from, but very, very effective as an offensive or defensive maneuver. Then we have the star, which grants you temporary invincibility and plays a very excellent theme song in the background, which we all know, by the way. Then you have coins, 100 of which earns you an extra life. And then you have the 1-up mushroom, kind of rare in this game, but it will earn you an extra life. And I just gotta ask Mario, what is it like when you take one of those mushrooms? What happens? What does it feel like?
It feels great. It feels like you could get hit by a bullet and still survive. I'll get you some.
You're the man, Mario. You are the man. Thank you.
I like that guy, Professor.
Oh yeah, Blaze is great. You know, Mario, I realize we're halfway through this class, and I forgot to put up the bricks notes, the keys to beating Super Mario Bros. Here in the Super Mario Bros. Walkthrough. And the 1-up would be right there had you warped or gotten all the coins on 4-3. You drop down in that pipe. But yeah, I hope you'll forgive me, class. It's been an exciting day for us here, having a guest like Mario on. And so let's take a look at them now. Number 1, AHB. Always hold B. B allows you to run in this game. You'll find that Mario is much more maneuverable when you're holding down that run button. Makes a lot of the platforming, avoiding enemy fire, enemies in general, a lot easier. 2, obviously, follow this guide for all the secrets, everything you need to know. Very tricky part right there, the hammer brother. Gotta find that opening. If I could add a 4th Briggs note, it would be to hold on to that fire flower whenever possible, because those hammer brothers become so much more manageable when you can just take them down from afar. You can hit this right there to go to another coin heaven area here in 5-2. And finally, fall back on Mario's expertise. Always a good one when you have the man himself here. Speaking of Mario's expertise, something else I realized we forgot to do, and all the excitement, again, great having Mario here today, but we did not handicap this game. We didn't give it a difficulty like we always do. So with you being the guest of the hour, Mario, I'll pose that question to you. Where would you put the difficulty for your first Super Mario Bros. Adventure here? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank it?
Oh, you're making Mario decide. Well, I guess I'd have to say, it's not the lost levels, so maybe I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
5?
Yes, a 5 out of 10 is good.
Okay, so just right difficulty of 5 out of 10. On the frustration scale, that of course equates to throwing your controller across the room.
I had to say, if you were throwing your controller across the room, you got some anger issues, buddy. Gotta work through those.
I'd say it's just a testament to how much people care about this game, Mario. Speaking of which, let's learn something else about it now with our resident fact finder, Fluff.
So I just wanted to say a bit more about the influences which came together which helped shape Super Mario Bros. First off, you were talking about mushrooms earlier and wondering what is with the obsession with mushrooms in Super Mario Bros. Where did that idea come from? Well, first off, when they were designing the game, they wanted Mario to be prominent on the screen. They wanted to make a big character which was easily identifiable versus other games where everything seems so much smaller, so just be this big, colorful character. But when they designed him, he was too big, so they wanted to be able to make him smaller. When they had the small Mario and the big Mario, they liked that idea of being able to transition between the two. They just figured out how to do it. The concept of the mushroom came into play because, in Miyamoto's words, mushrooms are kind of a staple in fantasy stories. You can take a very obvious example in Alice in Wonderland, where Alice eats a mushroom and she grows. A For whatever reason, Miyamoto has come out and explicitly stated they did not steal that idea from Alice in Wonderland. It's just more of the idea that mushrooms exist in these stories, and that's what they decided on for being the catalyst for Mario's growth. Do with that information what you will, but aside from that, Super Mario Bros. Is the culmination of several successful ideas used in existing Nintendo titles. So the floating conveyor belt-like platforms, these were taken from Donkey Kong. The ability to transition between walking and running, well, that was taken from the acceleration mechanic from Excitebike. And many of the enemies and the concepts of the Mega Block, those were taken straight out of the original Mario Bros. I've mentioned Kung Fu. Miyamoto wanted to expand on the side-scrolling and colorful aspects of that game, and has flat out stated how important Kung Fu was on and influencing Super Mario Bros. You can check out that class as part of the official Video Games 101 playlist in the description. By the way, Professor, I updated the trope list and made sure to put Super Mario Bros. On there as well. It's a pretty big one.
I'm sorry, Fluff. My English isn't perfect. Does trope mean best-selling video game series of all time? Because that's what a Mario is.
Stupid plumber.
Mario, I was just thinking I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on the 1993 live-action Mario movie. What do you think about that?
Did not quite capture the essence of a Mario. I mean, when you think of Mario, Super Mario Bros., you think colorful, fun, good times. Not a drab, fungi-covered dystopian universe where Toad is a punk rock douchebag and everything sucks.
Yeah, it wasn't a good movie by any stretch of the word, but what did you think of Hoskins' portrayal of you?
Well, no disrespect to the late, great Bob Hoskins, may he rest in peace, but Mario would have done a much better job in that role. They didn't even give Mario a chance.
Well, I don't want to embarrass you here, Mario, but I happen to have it on good authority that they did give you a chance, and you did audition for that role, and we actually happen to have some of your screen test here, if you don't mind that we show a little bit.
Oh my god, Mario hasn't seen that since the 90s. Go ahead and show it. The people will see. They'll decide for themselves in your class.
Alright, yeah, here's Mario's screen test from 1993.
Oh no, it's very bad. I'm falling. Oh, this is very bad. Oh, catch me, John Leguizamo. Oh, you missed, you bastard, John Leguizamo. Oh no, I'm falling. Oh, fuck, gosh, you better catch me this time. Oh, good job, John Leguizamo.
Good catch, huh, Mario? I should try out for the Yankees.
I'd high-five you, but then you'd be an only child. Go ahead, you gonna say it. It was a crap.
No, it was, well, let's get back to the game.
But I'm still I would have done a better job than Hoskins. I'm the real thing, after all.
So, by that logic, Nelson Mandela should have played himself in that biopic.
Nelson Mandela can't act for a Goomba's nose hair. I could do it. It was 2D discrimination.
I don't think that's a thing.
Oh, easy to say, coming from a guy who's probably been 3D his whole life. Is Mario right?
Well...
Exactly. So don't talk to a Mario until you lose a depth.
Okay, fine. So they discriminated against you. You know, that's not right.
Plus, they said Mario was too short. How can the guy the character is based on be too short?
Why didn't you just pop a mushroom like you normally do?
Hey, they just got out of court-ordered rehab. Forgive Mario for trying to better himself.
I mean, it might have also had something to do with the fact that you swore a lot, and that was like a 20-second clip, and you swore like 3 times.
Mario likes to ad-lib. It felt more real.
Yeah, but it's, you know, for kids, family movie. Historically, those type of films don't have a lot of cursing in them. Also, I noticed you kept calling Luigi's character John Leguizamo.
That's his name.
You know, it's the actor's name, but, you know, directors and casting agents. Well, pretty much anyone who goes to see movies usually likes the actors to stay in character during the filming, at least.
Well, that's not fair.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's get back to the game as we blast Bowser one more time. A lot easier, as you can see, as they added more obstacles coming our way. Hammers, fireballs popping out of the ground. Sometimes that floating platform, which is more of a barrier. We can obviously use that to get over the obstacles sometimes, but here we are in 7-1 now. Lots of bullet bills coming at you. When you're rubbing up against one of the cannons there, it will not fire as long as you're touching it, so that's important to remember. So you drop down in that pipe right there. More obstacles, more Hammer Brothers. Just more projectiles on the screen. It's time to hold our breath again now for stage 7-2. Again, I want to hold on to this fire flower as long as possible. Not sure the chemistry, whatever the science behind firing these fireballs underwater and how that operates. But yeah, watch out for the bloopers, especially with their patterns. Don't want to get hit. Experience significant shrinkage. Am I right, Mario?
Yes, when Mario gets hit by an enemy, he gets smaller.
No, I mean, because, it's an older game, so I'm making a Seinfeld reference.
What the heck is Seinfeld?
Oh, it was a pretty big sitcom in the 90s.
Sorry, the 90s were one of Mario's most successful decades. Mario was a little too busy to watch TV. Notice Mario said one of his most successful decades.
Yeah. Is it just me, or are you increasingly referring to yourself more and more in the third person?
Mario doesn't know what you were talking about.
Alright, well, as we go to finish this one, we got another cheap stage coming up next where they're jumping out of the ground. Just keep up that pace, keep up that tempo. And while we're doing that, let's go to Fluff for one last Fluff fact about Super Mario Bros. Fluff?
So data space was at a huge premium when designing Super Mario Bros. The game was limited to 256 kilobits for its program code and data, and just 64 kilobits for graphics. This all equates to about 4% of a megabyte, so that meant some clever workarounds were necessary to maximize resource efficiency. Because every sprite ate up more of that space, certain elements had to be reused, like Goombas look the same whether they're going up, or left, or right, or dying upside down. It's all the same. And the same sound effect was used whether Mario was taking damage to shrink down, or when he was entering a pipe. Believe it or not, it's the exact same sound effect.
Yeah, that Shigeru Miyamoto is a genius.
That's why I call him the Wizard.
Oh, you call him the Wizard?
No.
Fair enough. Alright, so in 7-4 we have another sort of mini-maze like we had in 4-4's Bowser stage, where we have to follow an exact path. And that path is this. Go down at the first junction, and take the middle path, then go up top. And then run across the gaps right here up top, drop down, and then stay up in this middle area. Not going all the way up, but just the middle. Jump up top. Do it that way, and you will get to Bowser. Once you see the flames, you know that you did it right, but if not, it'll just keep repeating, so.
What's with the frame rate, Professor? You playing this on a ColecoVision or something?
Anyway, this should be the last time that we save a mushroom person here and get the stock. Princess is in another cast. That's gotta be frustrating, right, Mario?
Yes, I did a bait and switch Mario 7 times. You have to understand, Mario's very horny at this point. It's not cool.
Yeah, I can imagine. And as you can imagine, probably, that they saved the hardest platforming for these final 4 stages, beginning with 8-1 here. There's the hidden 1-up. If you did happen to get all the coins back on 7-3, you can drop down into that pipe if you so choose. Still working on our no-death run, though. This is going pretty well, eh, Mario?
I didn't want to say anything. Mario, no, I want to jinx you, but you're very good.
Well, that's high praise coming from the man himself. Thank you very much, Mario.
I don't mention it, but don't die either.
Yeah, don't overthink these single gaps. You can just run right over top of those. We'll grab this star, get some momentum, and just start moving here. Yeah, keep full speed going until the final little stretch, which we'll point out. Right here, there's a single platform right there. Do it at full speed for the best results right there. Don't overthink it. Just play loose. But right here is where you want to slow down for once. And hug the right side of that. That was touch and go right there, but 8-2. Getting into these final stages, it's extremely useful to have that fire flower because of the increasing numbers of Hammer Brothers they got. Take out this lake or two, either jump on them or fire that fireball right there. Grab a 1-up if you so choose. Again, it's a little safer to go full speed, so it's almost right there to slow you down, to tempt you to grab yourself that 1-up. So we're still showing you all the 1-ups. I like to jump from the back of that pipe with some pace. Very difficult to make that jump right there. You can go down in that pipe right there. Difficult to make that jump when you don't have full speed. Yeah, that was kind of a no man's land we were stuck in right there. Slow it down, and A3 is going to be a bit of a tough out without that fire flower. There are multiple power-ups, so if we can manage them well, we can have one before it gets too difficult. The most difficult instance and interaction with the Hammer Brothers in this stage comes later on when they're on ground level with you. When they got these different platforms they jump on, a little simpler. Just stay up and tight with one, try to take down one of the two as quickly as possible, but don't miss that power-up right there, especially if you're in a bad way like we are right here. When they jump, be ready and react as if they're falling down all the way to the bottom, rather than just expecting them to be on that level right above you. Just practice caution there, and then, yeah, if you have that fire flower, you just clear them out ahead of time, making this so much easier. There's a coin block right there. Again, slow this down. One time where we don't emphasize speed. But yeah, without that fire flower, you have to take on those Hammer Brothers up close, and that's typically a recipe for disaster. But the final stage here in Super Mario Bros. Is one more maze. So follow this exact track to make your way to Bowser. How you feeling, Mario?
I'm feeling good, very good. If I can make one small request.
Yeah, name it.
Could you beat Bowser while Mario is still big? I want to be in the right, well, it's just a frame of mind when we meet the princess.
We'll try. Take that under advisement, but hit that hidden block right there to drop through. And I like to run through this area. If you have the fire flower, you can just shoot those piranha plants as you're moving, because yeah, the flying or jumping cheeps right there make that a little dangerous to hang around. If you drop into this pipe here, you'll be in an underwater level right here. Note that if you're small Mario, you can just walk along the bottom of the floor and the bloopers can't get that low, so get through unscathed. Relative safety, just one last obstacle, one last Hammer Brother in our way here.
Shoot him or get past him, just stay there. Oh, Professor, Mario asks you to do one thing! One thing!
I'm sorry, Mario, we gotta show the class how to beat this part if you don't have a fire flower. We gotta time this gap right there. Wait for it, and probably could have moved a little bit faster. Slow reflexes, but didn't end up costing us, and there you go, Mario, we saved the princess. Aren't you happy?
Yeah, but it's hard to get the princess you're saving to take you seriously when you only come up to her knees.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mario, but hey, great game.
Yes, it was. And can you believe that I actually thought that was going to be the last time I have to defeat that turtle?
Bowser you're talking about.
Are you just saying you put a turtle in hot lava? It's not going to be in the sequel.
Well, let's not put our turtles in hot lava, okay, class?
And let me tell you, if they had the balls to tell Mario that the princess was in another castle here, I was ready to go donkey shit. You know what I'm saying, Professor?
Yeah. Let's give one last round of applause for our special guest for today's class, everybody, Mario.
Hey, that was very good. Let's do it next time. In the sequel, I mean.
Yeah. We'll call you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.